Ever wonder what's really going on inside your muscles when you lift weights? On a microscopic level? Today, we're diving into the blueprint for muscle growth, breaking down the science of how muscles get bigger and stronger. It's a process called hypertrophy, and we're going to start by busting a really common myth.
You know the feeling, right? You finish an amazing workout. Your muscles feel super tight, full, just huge. We call it the pump. But here's the question. Is that actual muscle you just built in that hour? Or is it something else entirely? Let's figure this out.
All right, let's talk about the pump. It feels incredible, and you're definitely not imagining it. But as we're about to see, it's more of a temporary illusion than any kind of permanent gain.
The sciencey term for this is transient hypertrophy. And the most important word in there is transient. It just means temporary. See, when you exercise really hard, your body rushes a whole bunch of fluid, mostly blood and water, into the muscle cells you're working. That swelling is what gives you that awesome pumped-up feeling. It's a great sign you had a good workout for sure, but it's not a real structural change to the muscle itself.
This right here breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got the pump. It's temporary, it's all about fluid, and it's gone in a few hours. But on the other side, you have true hypertrophy. That's the real goal. That's a permanent structural change to the actual muscle fibers, something you build patiently over weeks and months. So the main takeaway? Don't mistake that short-term feeling for the long-term result.
So, if the pump isn't growth, then what is? Well, this is where it gets a little counterintuitive, because to actually build a muscle up, you first have to break it down. Let's get into the art of the micro tear.
This is it. This is the absolute core principle of getting stronger. Real muscle growth always starts with damage. Now, we're not talking about an injury. We're talking about controlled, microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. This damage is the crucial signal that tells your body, hey, we need to adapt and get stronger.
It all happens in a sequence, right? First, you apply stress. That's you lifting challenging weights. That stress creates those teeny tiny micro tears in the muscle fibers, and then that damage acts like an emergency flare, triggering your body's amazing repair and reinforcement system.
As soon as that damage signal goes out, your body's internal emergency services just spring into action. You can almost picture it like a highly specialized construction crew showing up on site, ready not just to fix things, but to upgrade them.
So what's this repair crew actually do? Well, first, inflammation basically points to where the damage is. Then, the real MVPs show up, satellite cells. Think of these as muscle stem cells. They get activated and literally fuse with the damaged fibers to repair them. To do this, they need fuel and building blocks. That's the nutrients being delivered, while the old, damaged proteins get cleared out like construction debris.
And this right here is the most important part of the whole process. The goal of this repair crew isn't just to patch things up and call it a day. Nope, it's to rebuild the muscle better, thicker, and stronger than it was before. It's a complete biological upgrade, preparing you for the next time you face that same stress.
This whole process of building back better and stronger actually has a name, and it's the entire reason we get stronger from exercise. It's called the supercompensation effect. You can think of supercompensation as your body's adaptive overreaction, in a good way. Its logic is pretty simple. Whoa, that last workout was tough. To make sure it isn't so hard next time, I'm going to rebuild these muscle fibers bigger and stronger. And that, right there, is the very essence of true muscle growth.
This chart visualizes it perfectly. So, you start at your baseline strength. After a tough workout, your strength actually dips for a bit because of fatigue and all that micro damage. But then, as you recover, the repair process kicks in. And look, your body doesn't just go back to where it started. It overshoots it, building you back even stronger. That new, higher peak, that's supercompensation.
Okay, so let's put all these pieces of the puzzle together. Muscle growth isn't just a single event. It's this continuous, really beautiful cycle.
This timeline is so critical to understand. The whole thing starts at hour 0 with your workout. For the next 24 hours, that cellular repair crew is working its tail off. But it's really in that 48 to 72-hour window that the muscle gets fully rebuilt and supercompensation really happens. This is exactly why rest days aren't just a good idea, they're non-negotiable. The rest is literally when the growth is happening.
So the formula is actually pretty simple, but so powerful. You apply stress through your training. You prioritize recovery with things like sleep and nutrition. Your body adapts by getting stronger. And then you just repeat the cycle over and over. That is the architecture of hypertrophy.
Which brings us to our final thought. We've established that the damage is the trigger, but the real magic, the real growth, happens during the rebuild. So this leads to the ultimate question, right? If you know all this, how can you best support that cellular repair crew with your nutrition, your sleep, and your recovery to get the best results possible? That's where the true art of training really begins.